12:25. Order of business, it's start with an open session. Called order. No issues. Number 2, declarations of conflict of interest. Are there any? Not seeing any, thank you. Approval of agenda.
Approved.
I have, just on reports, got a recalculation of the agenda items. 6A will be 6A, but 6B will be the report from finance on insurance renewal, Lane Pino, and then 6C will be the report from finance on the update on matters of interest from Lane Pino. And then 6D will be the planning report, heritage bylaw tender award, Donna Miller Rayton manager. And then 6E will be the presentation report from Pam Skierman Montgomery for Habitat for Humanity and Mike Russ. Everybody got that? You got that right, I believe? All right?
So
Okay.
is B, just to clarify, Mr. Chair, you have to move a resolution, so is B going to E and everything is following alphabetically?
Yeah,
Or is it going A, B, planning report, C?
A still is A, B is a report on the finance insurance renewal.
Okay,
And C is the update to committee on matters of interest.
okay,
And D is the planning report, Donna Miller Rayton. And E is the habitat.
thank you. Moved.
Okay. All right. Approval of previous draft minutes, July 21st, 2025. Those minutes were circulated. Any question on those minutes? Issues? Number 5, any business arising from the minutes? Not seeing any. Okay, so we're on 6, discussions reports. 6A, finance, FCM funding agreement, Lane Pino, and we have Nick Walker here as well, energy management engineer. All right, Lane.
Thank you, Chair. So the report that's provided is with respect to funding approved through the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, and it was previously approved through Council in June of 2024. However, as per the terms of the funding agreement, there is certain language that's required in the actual resolution that goes forward to council. So Nick is here to provide any further background if there's any questions, but what the goal of this is basically to take this resolution back to council, have the original resolution rescinded, and replace it with a new resolution that has additional language around some of the key terms that the Federation is looking for to satisfy the terms of the funding agreement.
Yeah, through you, Chair. FCM, as part of their the agreement with them, they require a resolution. They require a resolution to have certain things to follow your building bylaw, and so our building bylaw has a handful of things that we need to follow. So all the wording pretty much comes directly from that. And so that will satisfy the FCM agreement if we just have a resolution having all that information laid out.
That was pretty good, I think, summary and update in the report. Are there any more questions or comments on this? Lane, CAO, I guess, pretty straightforward, comfortable with with this. Mayor Brown, you,
Yeah, I'm just looking at it, the Lane, Mr. Chair, through the chair, and Lane or Nick. So if I go to page 4, digital copy, the interest rate of the loan will be 4.3%. And then, that's for 10 years, correct, Nick? And 20 years is 4.5%? That's in page 5?
Yeah, through you, Chair, those were the numbers given to us by FCM. They're kind of estimated numbers, they could potentially change from there, but similar numbers.
So we're going out for a long-term debt of 60 million, we're trying to get that out, right? I know that's not long-term debt, but we've already did the tender for line of credit. Did we do a tender for that?
That's part of our banking agreement with RBC.
Okay, and what's that rate at, Blaine?
I'll have to look that up.
Is it less than?
It's in the range of the 4.3%.
But because we're looking at going out to, 60 million for long-term debt, we're going out to tender on that. We're probably expecting to get better than 4.3% less, right? If interest rates go down because inflation goes up.
Yes.
So is there a reason that I know there's FCM guarantees it. Is it because of the grant that we're also getting here too? Is that part of the reason?
Through your chair, yeah, so the FCM agreements typically have a loan portion and a grant portion. I'm not entirely sure if we, I suppose we could accept the loan and then instantly pay it off kind of thing. Or we could just, accept the grant portion and not accept the loan. I'm not sure if they allow that.
Well, I think one bridges the other, correct?
What's that, sorry?
One bridges the other.
Yeah.
You get the loan, you go for the loan, you get the grant.
The agreement that we have with them includes the grant and the loan. It's not sort of two options really, it's, they go together.
And again, Mr. Chair, I'm just asking these are questions for clarification. So on page 5, financial implications, loan of $4,760,000 and grant of $714,000. That's from FCM. At 4.3%, it's still, as the business manager said, that's still a good deal. And I'll move it.
all right? Okay. Thank you. So we're good on 6A? Okay, 6B is now, the insurance renewal, 25-26 insurance renewal. Wayne,
Thank you, Chair.
pretty good information in the report as well, but, yeah, go ahead.
So this is standard for August of each fiscal year. We come forward to committee and council with approval of our insurance renewal rates. So a lot of work is done by our public works and finance and various departments to collect inventory information, which is provided to Marsh, our broker. You'll see the summary of the different coverages there that we have, and the proposal brought forward by Marsh totals 1.16 million for the premium for this year. So that's a 16% increase over last year. Last year, the increase was about 11%. What's notable in this coverage here is that particularly under the, notice the sharp increase of 30% under the property limits, and that's including a lot of infrastructure that's been added to the city's inventory over the last fiscal year, namely Simmons, of course, becoming operational. There was a significant change to that level of coverage, obviously, with the completion of that project. We also had the lift station at Capitol Drive, additions made to Victoria Park. That's just a few of the larger additions that were made to the policy. Without those, and if if just comparing status quo, there's a market rate increase of about 8% here, and the overall premium would have been about 9%. Over here, so the 16% noted is largely attributable to the properties that have been added to our inventory. Under the general liability, there was an option presented by Marsh for us to increase our deductible, which would
25 to 50.
from 25,000 to 50,000, which would have reduced this cost by a further 73,000. However, given some of the claims that are currently in the system, and obviously changing it from 25 to 50s, only a few claims would result in the math going, resulting in additional costs to the city. So it's obviously, if we all had the crystal ball, we would know for certain what's going to unfold in terms of open claims and pending claims coming forward. So Marsh has recommended that we stick with the 25,000 deductible, and that's what staff is recommending as well. So that's under the general liability insurance. The automobile insurance is a standard increase, due to standard market conditions. The cyber insurance increase, there's a minimal increase there of $1,000, but there are some additional coverages that are provided under that policy that we've noted in the report. And there was as well an optional coverage, a new coverage for this year for legal expense, and this would cover the costs of legal costs for specific types of issues that may not necessarily be covered under our general liability policy, and that was $27,000. That was totally an optional new coverage for us to consider. There was no recommendation by Marsh that we take that on at this point, given our current claims. So we're recommending that, given the significant increase in our other premiums, that we forego that this year, and that we revisit that coverage next year once it's renewal time.
I'm sorry, which one would we forego and not? What coverage?
Legal expense.
Legal expense. It's on number 4
$27,000
there
an
in
option.
the report.
Okay,
It was $27,000.
right, and why did you say that you're gonna forego it?
Just given the significant increases in our other premiums this year, that and again, this is an optional coverage that became available. It's not one that was taken on by the broker and recommended that we adopt, given our current claims experience.
So we haven't had that before?
So we haven't had that before, no. And from a budgetary standpoint, so we knew that we'd have significant additions on our capital infrastructure this year. So we did increase our insurance budget by $250,000 this year. So we do have sufficient room in our current operating budget to cover this premium increase. And there's actually some savings there compared to budget that we can utilize against other budget stresses, going forward.
Anyway, I don't know if it's a fair question. Would you have any sense, or would anyone around the table have any sense, an example of maybe if with legal costs we've had in past, an example where that way have come into play or been, I mean, I'm sure there's things you can claim on and other things you couldn't. I'm just wondering if there's an easy example of something that we paid past legally where this may have covered, or is that?
So I guess most of, and others can speak up because my tenure's not been very long, but the legal costs that we typically see relate to our current claims under bodily injury or property damage. Some examples of what what would fall under that new optional policy include the employment disputes, contract disagreements. If we had, example, an audit or an assessment from CRA that we wanted to dispute or challenge, the legal costs would help to support that. I'm not aware of any significant legal costs that we would have incurred that would fall under those categories that are outside of our general liability at this point.
But it's like, but if the city was, say, sued on a contractual thing, that sort of thing, would that be something that?
That could be something that would fall under this coverage, yes.
The employment contract,
What's that?
the employment contract, yeah.
That's insured?
That's our understanding.
And there is a breakdown under the proposal that's attached to the report that outlines all of the different coverages and the amounts of coverage for each scenario, including the ones that I just cited there.
Okay, yeah.
Mr. Chair, what's the last time we went out to tender? This is just an extension of our current policy, correct?
It is, so my understanding is that
We're doing it on a year-to-year basis, correct?
it's a year-to-year basis. The direction or the request when we first started dealing with Marsh and with Cooks was a 5-year agreement. Again, not one that binds the city, but just for service continuity sake to
So this is
have
part of
a
the 5-year
5-year
agreement?
term. So this would be year 5 of that.
This is the 5th of the 5th? Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Does this, Mr. Chair, just wanna know, does this policy cover both corporate entities? Water, wastewater utility, and?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so they have a line item in their budget for insurance too, so.
Correct.
We're both paying it.
Correct. There's 2 separate budget lines within the two
And is it
entities.
50-50 or is it, maybe you don't,
I don't have that.
there's a breakdown,
It would
right?
be, it would
It'd be
probably be
prorated?
largely tied to the value of the assets
Okay,
on the in the different entities.
and I just look here at that actually.
So on that point, does the 1.1 include sewer and water?
It
Yes.
includes, yes, it's
So
for,
it's expense to both.
correct.
There's two.
So sewer and water would have a portion of the 1.1 obviously.
Yes.
Is there also something in here that protects mayor and council?
There is, yes.
It's called the umbrella.
This is. And
Is it under
how does
directors?
But
that,
there is
does that
there is a specific line under council accident.
Yeah.
That's part of the schedule there, and there is a summary of what that coverage is.
what page is that summary on?
So the breakdown is on page 10, the graph, and where is it? The breakdown is on page,
Yeah, it's in the proposal attached. Let's see.
oh, here.
So your cyber insurance is an example of that, potentially an example of that, like if we were a victim of financial or mismanaged or of funds, electronically or otherwise, does that fall under cyber insurance, like electronic funds that got, scammed, we get scammed on something if we did?
That would, if there's a hack to the city systems,
We've never claimed on that, have we? Anybody know?
not to my knowledge.
25,000 deductible apply to it too. So it's
Yeah.
$100,000 claims. It's 25%.
Okay, are we good on the,
No, I was still waiting for the page, someone was gonna give that to me, so I could
Yes.
see it.
the what?
We didn't finish up on the council.
Oh, yeah.
What coverages are there for council?
So it's under page 26 of your package, so it'll be the electronic copy.
Well, on duty only coverage, so that means they're not protected when they're out visiting residents and such.
So it's an accident policy that provides benefit if a counselor is injured or killed while on
Jeez.
official city
Okay.
business. So if you're on official city business,
So not on residential, so when you're looking after the residents, you could say that's city business because it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there a kind of a detailed breakdown, like is there, you know, if I go out and visit a resident on a Sunday afternoon and something happens to me, what happens? How, you know what I mean, like just,
yeah, so
we're pretty well always on duty, except for when we're sleeping.
So the language I have here is if there's an injury that results in that situation, that would fall under this policy, under that coverage.
And my last question would be, what percentage, your premium go up from last year? I can jump in.
16.
16?
16% overall.
16%, okay.
Yeah.
So if we look at the raw numbers there, Mr. Chair, under page 10, property limits. So total insurance value went up by 73 million. I know that would take into account the new Simmons Aquafina facility, which was 36. So the other, that would be water, wastewater, like they would have some valued assets too. As you said, the lift station in Capitol Drive.
Lift station, additions to Victoria Park, buildings, dugouts,
Okay.
maintenance building, tennis clubhouse, those are some of the larger ones.
Well, it's cost of doing business.
So that's, I mean, that accounts for a lot of the 16%, right? About 30-some% of it, it says.
It's up by 73 million.
But really, did our policy really go up, or did we just add more things to needed to be insured? We added way more
So-
property and stuff onto that.
So the biggest increase that we see is under the property coverage, which
Right,
ties
yeah.
to Simmons in those areas.
Yeah,
So as the mayor noted, that was about 73 million, so about 30%. 30% is what the premium went up under that category. If I back out all of the property additions and just go with the 8% standard market rate increase, which was the same as last year, you're looking at a 10% increase overall for the city if you backed out the net additions to our inventory.
And Deputy, you know, if you recall being in Toronto for the FCM 2019,
19, 2019, yeah,
Don Iverson, the former mayor of Edmonton, was there for the cooperatives insurance.
yeah.
And his call to all municipalities that insurance rates, because of climate change, because of flooding, fires, cyber attacks, he said, you better brace for it because it's coming. And if I go to page 14, Lane, it says paid loss, 1,221,000. So that's what we paid out as a city. I'm just trying to, and then paid expense was 727. Just trying to get the clarification on that.
Yeah, so the paid expense would be expenses incurred, legal expenses or what have you to
Right.
actually administer and then the loss would be basically like a settlement or more now, but those would be in excess of our deductible, that would be covered by insurance.
So if I go to the last column, net incurred, is that what we incurred in debt, 1.7 million, or was that the insurance?
That would be what the insurance incurred.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, okay. And the deductible was 1.8, so that's what we incurred.
Yeah, 1.8, but I'm gonna review those
Could you?
formulas because I believe that that's just applying the full deductible amount, but what you would see in some of those claims, like our settlement amount may not go up to those deductibles, so
Okay.
I have to confirm with Marsh what the actual deductibles
Could you?
are tied to that, and I
Yeah.
will.
I know with, it's a blind trust, but I know with businesses, liability insurance is going up all across the board. But Lane, if you do find that Christy O'Donnell, will you make sure it's insured?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Okay, alright, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the report, Lane. Lane, it's really good.
Okay, moving to 6C, and staying with yourself, Lane, update to the committee on matters of interest.
Thank you, Chair. I'll just quickly review this one. I think all the information is there. These are standard updates that we provide, so
Yeah.
the 24-25 year-end audit, we are doing some final work on that. We did advise MRSB and we did reschedule them to come out in September to do their field work. It was originally intended for October 4th, but we're not ready yet. My staff have been working diligently and have pulled the information together. A lot of it is with me now to actually review and support some of the final review of the working papers before giving MRSB the green light to come to the floor. So once we have MRSB here, we'll be able to advise where we go from here in terms of timelines for the audit, but we felt it necessary to move it back. We weren't in a position for them to make efficient use of their time, I guess, for August 4th, so that's been moved back. The long-term debt, as I noted in the last report, so we did go out to tender for that. It's 60 million is what we're requesting. It's tied to our approved capital budget this year. It's what we estimate as a net funding requirement. We are putting in there some flexibility in terms of what we've asked the banks to reply to is an estimate for 30 million upfront upon signing, and then additional increments of 10 million after that, based on our cash flow requirements going forward. And that closes actually this Friday, the 8th, so we'll be providing an update at the next Finance Committee meeting.
Does that tender include timeframes on the amount of debt, like
We do for
25, or amortization periods, I guess would be the word?
yeah, so we've asked them to quote on 25 and 30-year amortization terms. And we've also asked them to quote their rates at 5, 10, and 15 years in terms
For
of
5 and 10, for 5, 10, and 15-year rate guarantees.
Exactly. And we've provided some, for the sake of them providing us with a spot rate estimate, we did provide them some hypothetical dates in terms of when we would look to draw down the subsequent $10 million amounts.
Has there ever been occasion, or where long-term debt, like, not overly familiar with long-term financing, but thinking of a conventional mortgage, you can have a variable rate. Is there such thing as any kind of variable rate you can have for long-term debt, or maybe that doesn't line up or doesn't?
So part of our RFP, I believe, is that we kind of leave it open for the banks to present kind of other options as
Okay.
well.
Yeah. But is it something that you're familiar with? It
no.
probably doesn't. It probably doesn't happen. You Mayor, Deputy, you familiar with that kind of a thing?
Well, I understand the $60 million loan that we're getting for debt, it's only, the interest is only applied when we take from the
When we draw down on it.
Yeah.
draw down.
No, I am, yeah,
So that's gonna be varied rates.
I would
So if you
understand that.
borrow now, and then a year later you borrow more, it could be a difference of higher or lower rates.
Just to be clear in a nutshell, I'm just asking, would there ever be a situation where you have a block of money, a block of debt, where you wouldn't have a fixed rate, it'd just be variable, like people have variable rate mortgages, conventional mortgages, does that ever happen in this kind of borrowing, or I'm guessing maybe not, it wouldn't be conventional,
Well,
sort of
pay
thing.
interest when you withdraw from it, that's the only time.
Not for this amount of debt. If you look at some of the larger government entities, perhaps there's probably some other
Yeah, no,
levels of debt.
No, it was just a-
that may
They issue
be more-
warrants,
Yeah, and they may be more more
okay, we need more money, issue another
yeah, so
warrant.
you got your various terms and your amounts, like,
correct.
so you're asking for it in, I guess there wouldn't be nothing outside the 5 to 10 and the 15-year rate in terms of what you're paying.
Yeah, I think that's
You've
fair.
got a fixed term on.
Right.
Okay,
The procurement bylaw, so we met with the department heads last week. We're taking their feedback and doing some further edits to the draft bylaw, which we're aiming to bring forward to committee and council in September.
Final version,
The final draft version
okay,
for consideration and approval.
September. To this committee?
That's what we're aiming for, yes.
yeah, so there's continues to be good work done on that in the meantime, and we're engaging with, is it
Kent Thompson,
Thompson and is
We
he still part of what you're doing?
We've collected all the information from Kent, and he had made some good progress in terms of drafting the bylaw that we felt we could take that as a basis and update, determine what of that documentation is tied to like an internal policy for guidance for our leaders and what remains in the bylaw. And so there was a significant amount of work done that we felt we could take it and circulate it to our senior leadership team and our managers, and we're trying to do that.
Will it go through a legal lens before it comes to committee?
Probably so. Haven't looked at that piece, but we'll take that under advisement and probably.
Because I mean, if it's going through to our legal team and we think we're gonna get it back in September, they better get it pretty soon. Because they can take, we've had bylaws here for sometimes for 6 to 8 months, because they're busy, so.
okay, just ask questions.
Anything else, Wayne?
Just the, a couple of further items there, I guess. So the procurement officer posting is closed, so we will be scheduling interviews for those fairly soon.
Do you have applicants?
My understanding is we have at least 7 or 8 applicants that have, with some good background there. So I haven't reviewed the applications yet, but I'll be meeting with the recruitment folks fairly soon. And just the summary on the tenders and RFP, RFQ that are included in the report. And we did provide an update on just the financials to the end of June, which we typically do this time of year. We'll start providing those updates going forward, so.
Oh. And it looks good to you, Renee? Huh? In the driver's seat? Okay.
So, I'm here and, comfortable with where we're going with the audit and getting ready for that. Sounds like we're making real progress on the procurement bylaw and the staffing piece on procurement, with an officer, sounds like 7 candidates, hopefully there's, somebody strong in there and, no, that's great. Sounds like we're having action in progress, which is wonderful. Okay.
Could I just ask a question with the,
Mayor Brown.
Lane, on page 50, your tenders RFP, RFQ update. 2025 sidewalks, is that capital or operational? I know, looking at your background, or does it, is that capital tender? Or is this all operational?
I would believe that would be a capital.
Okay, could I'm always interested in package A, package B for resurfacing. I know there's, with the two tenders that went through, for package A, package B, we didn't expend all what we projected. I'm just trying to find out if we're looking at package C, because as you'll find out, CAO Brad and others, that it's always a topic of conversation wherever we go. You know, I need my roadway paved, I need my sidewalk.
What page, your worship, was that on?
It's on page 49, but it's not part of a list of possible tenders, so I was just asking if we're looking at the package C. We've done package C in the past.
And there's
There's a list.
Yeah, but to that, isn't there, there's still money left in the capital
Yeah,
budget
that's
for
right.
that.
And if I go to your statements, just your 3 months ending June 30th, right?
Yes.
So it says, page 52, city revenue less expenditures, it's in the red, negative $5,370,000, and then below that it says prior year operating surplus deficit, city surplus deficit was $5,370,000. No, it's just trying to figure that out. There's one red, one black. I know red means debt, black means to the good. I've always asked.
Yeah, so,
It's under the heading, it's under the column, funds available.
so what it is doing, it's comparing,
Cause if you look at our 2025, city revenues to this point is 19 million. City expenditures to this point is 17,434,000. Anyways, I always, the red and the black, don't like the red.
yeah, I found that confusing too. So basically, what it's saying there is if you look under city revenue less expenditure, the current year to date, we're showing a surplus of 1.1 million.
Yes, I see that.
Okay, so if you compare that to the negative, which is 4.2 million, so that's the operating deficit that we had before you apply the prior year surplus to it.
Okay,
Which
okay.
is 3.4.
Okay,
So it's the difference between the
Okay,
1.1 million
okay.
and
Yeah,
the
so we're still in
the
good financial
negative
position.
4.2, correct.
yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Lane, does that conclude your update?
Yes.
Any other questions, Elaine, on his update? All right, thank you, Elaine. So we'll go to switch to planning report. D, Heritage Bylaw Tender Award, and our agenda says Donna Miller, but Donna's not here, and Mike Russ, our director, will speak to that. The manager, Mike.
Thank you,
Heritage
Mr.
Bylaw Tender Award.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the report is on page 7 of your electronic package. And so the reason why this report is before Finance Committee today is because as part of the our HAF spending, the Housing Accelerator Fund spending. One of the projects that was identified for spending spending for this year's operational budget was a review and update of the heritage bylaw and the 500 lot review. After going through the procurement process to try and procure those services, the amount that the one proponent came back with was a little over the money that had been set aside. So what we're asking for here is really a transfer of around $15,000 from unspent dollars elsewhere in the department in operating to allocate towards this project. So there's no
Take it to
fiscal,
150.
there's no fiscal impact. It's really to cover the HST. Yeah. But happy to answer any questions you may have about the project or
We
we're
fleshed this out pretty good in our Planning and Heritage Committee meeting, so you could you easily go back and listen to that on your YouTube if you didn't wanna get into the nitty-gritty details of the actual
Yeah.
project, but Mike's here to answer them, or I am if you did need them, but straightforward.
I'm good unless,
I move it.
yeah, I second it.
right? Thank you, Mike. So which takes us to, waiting patiently, Pam, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Ev, thank you. So we're now going to 6E, which is the presentation for Habitat for Humanity, and at this point, we're going to move into a closed session, and as per section 119 1E of the Municipal Government Act, and 119E is a matter still under consideration in which the council has not yet publicly announced a decision, and about which discussion in public would likely prejudice a municipality's ability to carry out its negotiations. So with that said, I'd
I
like
move.
to motion, so moved and seconded by Mayor Brown, thank you. And we're into a closed session. we're back out of closed session and we're moving on to our agenda number 7, introduction of new business. Is there any new business?
Mr. Chair, just under the presentation, under the close, are we gonna forward something to council in the closed session on Tuesday?
I move.
Get some information, is that all right?
Yeah, no, that's fine, assuming it can be report ready or something ready to share
Yeah.
with.
I could prepare something for Tuesday's council meeting.
Okay,
And we'll be there to speak to it too.
okay, all right, so, we good on that?
Yeah.
8, adjournment, motion adjourn, deputy and.
Thank
Thank you, adjourn, thank you.
Thank you.